Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about word problems involving systems of equations, and you're going to be given several different examples and are going to be shown how to set up equations from those scenarios and how to find your solutions. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. The first one, it says Ren and Jenny are reading the same book. Ren is on page 4 and reads 2 pages every night. Jenny is on page 2 and reads 3 pages every night. Okay, so we want to go ahead and write an equation for both Ren and Jenny. Okay, so remember, what are the two things that we need to write an equation? Okay, we need a slope and we need a y-intercept. Okay, remember, the y-intercept is where we always begin, and your slope is the rate of change. Okay, so for Ren, where does she start? Where did Ren start? She is on page 4. Okay, so since she's on page 4, you know that her y-intercept is going to be 4. Hey, and what about Jenny? Where does she start? Jenny is on page 2, so that's where Jenny starts. So we're just filling in our y-intercepts, where you start. Okay, so let's go back to Ren. What's her slope? It says Ren is on page 4 and reads 2 pages every night. So that's her rate of change. So every night, Ren reads 2 pages, so 2x. And Jenny is on page 2 and she reads 3 pages every night. Okay, so there's our two equations, but what does it exactly mean? What does the x value mean? Okay, the x value means the number of nights read, and our y value just means total pages read. Okay, so x means number of nights read, y means total number of pages read. Okay, so now that we have two different equations that are both solved for y, we can go ahead and graph those and see where they intersect, and that's going to tell us how many nights it will take until they read the same number of pages. Okay, so let's start with Ren. We know her y-intercept is 4, so let's go ahead and graph hers, a y-intercept of 4. So go up 1, 2, 3, and 4 and draw a nice big old point. And her slope is 2. So I'm going to go up 2 and over 1 and draw a point. And I can do this as many times as I would like in order to get a good line. So let's go ahead and draw one more and then we can draw a line there. Okay, so there's the line that represents Ren's reading. Let's go ahead and draw the line that represents Jenny's reading. And we'll do hers in black. Okay, so Jenny, her y-intercept was 2. So I'm going to go up 2, plot a point real big in black. And my slope is 3. So I'm going to go up 3 and over 1. And that should give me my y-intercept, or my line. So go up 1, 2, 3 over 1. Go up 1, 2, 3 over 1. Oh, there's our intersection. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw our line for Jenny. Okay, and there it is. Okay, so we see the intersection, and it asks, after how many nights will they have read the same number of pages? So let's go ahead and get our ordered pair solution. We know that the ordered pair solution, you go over 2 and up 8. Okay? So since we know that our x value means the number of nights read, our first question, after how many nights will they have read the same number of pages, we know our x value is 2, so our answer is 2. Okay, and how many pages will that be? Remember, y value means our total pages read, so we know that our y value is going to be 8. How many pages will that be? 8 pages read for both of them. Okay, so that is our first example of our word problem. Let's go ahead and move to the next one. Let's look at a different example now. It says Bolorama charges $2.50 per game plus $2 shoe rental. So we know Bolorama charges $2.50 per game plus $2 shoe rental. And Bowling Pins charges $2 per game plus $3.50 for shoe rental. Okay, so let's go ahead and write an equation for both. Now we know that Bolorama, what do they charge up front? What do you have to pay every time? You're going to have to pay your $2 shoe rental. So we have y equals, and we know that we're going to have to pay $2 for shoe rental. Okay, but what about Bowling Pins? How much do they make you charge you for shoe rental? Well, it looks like they charge you $3.50, so you know that's the initial price, or the y-intercept. Okay, so there's your y-intercepts. Now let's go back and look at our slope. Okay, Bolorama charges you $2.50 per game. Per means multiply, so that means you have 2.5x plus 2. And of course, Bowling Pins, they charge you $2 per game, so that would make you have 2x. Okay, so there's our two equations, but we want to know what the variables mean. So what does the x mean in both of our equations? Okay, well, the x means the number of games. Okay, so the number of games that you play is represented by x. And what does y mean? Y means the total cost. Okay, so y means the total cost of our games. Now, up in number 1, we went ahead and graphed our two equations, and that worked out great. Hey, but down here, what if you have a problem that you have decimals in it and you're not really sure if that should go on a graph? Maybe it's not the best idea to do that. So when you do that, you can solve it algebraically. Now remember, when you had two equations that are both solved for, how did you solve that algebraically? Well, we went ahead and set them equal to each other and solved. So let's go ahead and set them equal to each other. We have 2.5x plus 2, and that all equals 2x plus 350. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this. Let's solve it. Might have to write kind of small. All right, so we have variables on both sides equation, and that means that we should move the small one. So let's go ahead and subtract 2x on both sides. These x's cancel out, and we have 0.5x plus 2, and that all equals $3.50. Okay, now we can go ahead and subtract 2 on both sides, undo addition with subtraction. The 2's go away, and I now have 0.5x equals $1.50. Lastly, we can undo multiplication with division. And if you take $1.50 and divide it by half, that's going to end up giving you x equals 3. Okay, so we know that our x value is 3, so that already gives us one of our answers to our question down below. So it says how many games can be played at each place for the total cost to be the same. So when you go ahead and solve those equations, you set them equal, that's going to give you how many games, or the x. So we know that until when the prices are equal, they will have played 3 games. Okay, now we need to figure out what the total cost would be. Okay, so we now can plug in our 3 into either x in our equations. It doesn't matter, but I'm going to choose the bottom one. Okay, so we have 2 times x plus $3.50, but instead of x, I'm going to put a 3. So we have 2 times 3 plus $3.50. And if you multiply 2 times 3, that is 6. And then if you add $3.50, that gives you $9.50. Okay, so what does that cost for 3 games? Well, both places are going to charge you $9.50 for 3 games. Okay, so there's 2 examples for you. Go ahead and flip to the next page. All right, I would like you to try to write the equation for both account A and account B in this problem. Remember, you need to find where you start. That's your y-intercept. And then whatever you deposit every month is going to be your slope. So go ahead and write the equation for account A and account B.